What in the world is this gigantic thing?
That's the largest biplane in the world. AN2 Antonov. It's handle given to it by the American military is a Colt. C-O-L-T.
Oh, a Colt.
Yeah.
And how did you get it?
It came back from Yugoslavia, not Yugoslavia.
Good Lord, that thing is huge.
Yeah, 12 places. This is a jump plane. It's got the static line hooks, rails on it.
Oh, can I go in it?
Sure. Grab root and growl.
Whoa!
Hold 12 jumpers to altitude, but you better take a sack lunch if you want anything over 3,500 feet. It's slow.
Yeah. That's what I read, is that it would take off and land in really short distance.
Football field.
Yeah. Wow.
It's got check gauges in it.
And do you have the wings and the other things?
Yep, wings are out in the hangar. It's got leading edge slats that pop in and pop out as required.
And what are these part of the ailerons?
This is ailerons. It got rescanned, and then I can't remember, before I got it, it got left out in the sun and before it got doped up and got ruined. So the guy gave up on it. And this is a stretcher car too. They can have stretchers here.
Oh, that's what these
like
hooks are for?
Or if you want to put jumpers in it, you pop the seats out on both sides and throw jumpers in it.
Wow. So did you fly this airplane or what?
I didn't fly this one. I flew one in Yugoslavia.
Okay. And what's the story with this one? You said it came from?
This one came from Russia.
From Russia.
From what I understood, they bought 10 of them and flew them across the Bering Strait and got them as far as Alaska, sold 3 of them, and then brought the rest down to Oregon. And they've been selling them piece by piece, just enough to keep them in the air. This has got 370 hours on it.
That's it?
Yeah. Well, 370 hours on this motor.
Golly.
But just hook up your static lines and march toward the door.
Yeah. Man. Wow. Well, let's fire it up. Get out there, grab the prop, and throw the wings on. Put these on. You're good to go.
So you were, you were talking about skydiving for this, or potentially was going to be set up for that.
We're going to set it up for jumping.
For a round parachute type stuff.
Yeah, they use these. Actually, we're going to use squares. I've got 60 military rigs.
Wait, that's right. He was telling me you're a rigger as well.
Yeah, MC4 military. And just keep playing with them till somebody throws dirt in my face.
Yeah.
But yeah, back there's the radio package.
The radio package, what do you mean as far as for everything? Everything was wired to the cockpit from back there, all radios?
There's about 600 pounds of radio garbage back there. We can replace it with one Garmin.
Yeah, one iPad.
Got all the control surfaces stuck back there, the wing strut cables.
Looks pretty clean actually on the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Somebody went crazy with a paint gun and silver paint. And it's got another big door right here. It's got cam locks on it.
Oh, so that's not the, holy cow. I just realized that. So this door comes all the way out and around there. Yeah, it's even bigger than that.
This door swings open, pins right here. And you can take that engine, set it in on a forklift, pull it forward and.
Wow, for a full cargo.
Yeah, it's 2-ton pickup.
Wow. What year is this one?
This is 74.
74, okay.
But the world started laughing at them when they thought they were going to build a biplane. And you need to get on top to get up on the wings. You just...
Oh, look at that.
Punch them in, climb up the rail and walk the top. It's got no skid stripe up there about 2 foot wide.
What's the engine this thing's got up here?
1,000 horsepower PZL.
What is that?
It's built in Czechoslovakia, also Poland, China. Where else did they build in the map?
I read it was a copy of the Wasp engine. Is that right?
Yeah.
It was is it a stacked?
18, no, it's a single row.
Is it really?
9-cylinder single row.
Oh, wow.
They pulled a couple of these apart and put 1,400 horsepower and 1,700 horsepower turbines on.
Golly, this is a monster. How big is the wingspan?
64 feet.
Good Lord. And Josh,
Yep.
What's the wingspan on, say, a Piper Cub?
Piper Cub is 36.
So
Basically,
2 of those, essentially. Just a little bit less than two other Cubs put together.
Yeah.
Golly gum.
did you have the prop for this, or did you?
Yeah, I've got all the parts for it. They're in here in the shop.
Today's episode sponsored by Cloaked. Oh, you're not supposed to see that airplane yet. Protect your personal information before it's too late. Take a free risk scan at cloaked.com/Jimmy. I did this, and you gotta go see how much information they can get by just your phone number. How safe is your online information? In today's digital age, a hacker can expose your home address, contact info, even social security number, birthday, mom and dad and sisters and everybody else. But there is a solution: Cloaked. Cloak identifies and removes your personal information from data brokers and shady websites, then generates on-demand aliases to disguise your phone number, email address, and even credit card. It's like an invisibility cloak for your personal information. So you can either call 855-972-5625. That's 855-972-5625. Or just go to cloaked.com. That's CLOAKED.com. Make sure to use Jimmy on checkout to get 20% off of your subscription. You can secure yourself by signing up for Cloaked when you visit cloaked.com and receive 20% off your subscription when you use the code Jimmy at checkout. That's CLOAKED.com. Get Cloaked and protect your privacy before it's too late, because your data deserves to stay yours. Keep your family's details safe, like your home address, your cell phone number, your birthday, your social security number, everything. Keep it all safe. And sign up with code Jimmy for 20% off your first subscription, or just call 855-972-5625. Now back to the cold and the other abandoned airplanes.
That one without the nose on it, guy took off.
The fuselage right here?
Yeah, he left Florida for the islands with 45 minutes of fuel on board.
Okay.
He got out there, but he made the island. He didn't make the runway.
Huh.
Just about. And the other one, the 337 Papa Lima. Trying to remember. That one came down for a spar check and failed the spar check, so we've been stripping parts off of it. And people need parts.
So what model is that? I'm not even.
That's
looks
a
like a
401.
Okay, yeah.
A 401 fuselage, I think.
Yeah, because the 402 have the square windows in them. Oh, wait, a 401 that needs some love. I know somebody that can probably use that. So Josh was telling me that you've had some interesting jobs.
Yeah, 28 years at Air Force One. Worked on F-4s for Boeing when they were doing PDM. Ran the parachute loft for 20-some years.
And what'd you do? You said Air Force One?
Yeah, I was flight test and flight modification tests.
So which Air Force One was it? The 747 or was it the...
We had the 137s, the 707 mod to Air Force One, which is what The last bird before they got the 747s.
So
It's basically a 707 that's been prettied up.
Is there a lot of extra stuff on there? They got rockets and all that kind of stuff on it?
Yeah, whistles and bells, that's about it.
Oh, okay. Is that all you're allowed to say?
Oh, yeah.
If I told you anymore, I'd have to kill you.
Yeah. You know, top secret clearance still.
Yeah.
Fine line, yeah. I know what
They
that's all about.
keep us busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So what? Yeah, this is a SeaBee.
I got all the porch for it in the room in there. We started moving, cleaning it out. I'm cleaning stuff out of the hangar now. I'm going to take the other 400 series. And
Now, how did you come across this airplane? Was it flying when you got it, or what's the story behind this one?
Torn down. A guy was started rebuilding it with a couple of buddies, and people just kept dying off, getting old, and he finally got tired of it. I was up in Seattle working for Boeing, and we were flying seaplanes up the coast, Vancouver coast,
Okay.
British Columbia. Got to the point where I really like these things. I need to widen the spray rail a little bit. But last 12 years I spent taking care of my wife until she passed away, and everything stopped down here.
Mm-hmm. And are you looking to get back working on some of these projects? Are you looking to find them new homes like this guy right here? Or?
Yeah, we're probably going to put some of them in new homes. I had a guy call me about the RCB Republic SeaBee. He's looking for parts, and he's going to put about 4 or 5 planes together with enough, if he can find enough parts off of this one. Or put this one back in the air. I got everything for it.
Oh, wow. There you go.
This spray rail is about, the guys will sit and open the doors, and we landed on the lakes up in Canada, up in Edmonton, Alberta. Well, Stony Plains, where my family is from up there. And you can land on the lakes, fish, pull them in, clean them up.
Yeah.
See the Royal Canadian Mounted Police come up, they pull out to the back of their boat in the water, and you pull everything inside. Go to the next lake where he isn't.
Is that the fuel tank there in the back? Is that what that is?
Oh, that white thing, or
that cap there in the back?
Oh, I see the cap on the tail section there.
yeah, that's just a storage clean out spot where you can.
Okay.
And what's the white thing here? Is
that's a float that goes out here on the wingtip, and I hang
okay.
the wings off the spars up there.
And you have the wings for this thing somewhere?
Got everything for it. This was a project from about 15 years ago. Brought it down, started working on it, and where did I end up at? Oh, I ended up back in Washington for Boeing doing some flight tests.
And what's the story with this yellow one right here?
182. This is 6414 Alpha, and 6407 Alpha is up against the wall up there. It was a jump plane hauling jumpers to altitude, and they landed and hit some soft mud, snapped the gear on it.
Oh.
Ended up going down, picking it up, got the prop, the engine. So I thought, thinking about turning it into a 180, put a tail dragger on it, but it's hard to find tail dragger pilots, so it's a lot more fun to fly them than it is mod them.
And then what about this, another 400 series?
Yeah.
That's another 401, isn't it?
Yep.
Golly. So, hey, Jason, we found all your 401s that you've been looking for.
Yeah.
Man, you got all kinds of stuff out here. All right, now tell me the story with this one. What's
10 passengers had to show up at Orlando Executive Airport 10 minutes before the flight took off. Throw all your stuff in the wing lockers in the back of the bus and load up the family and head out for the islands. Had St. Tom, I don't know how many 400 series birds he had. He ended up retiring, and I was down there, and We're going to looking for another 400 airplane for a jump plane. You can put 10 jumpers in one, 30 bucks a head. Take you about 17 minutes to get the altitude depending on the air temp. Open up the sliding door on the side, throw everybody out, spiral back down and pick up another load. It's a whole lot of fun.
Man. Now is this one, it looks like it's complete. Did you fly it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Flew it in, flew it up from Florida, hit Oklahoma, did a couple of things down there. I was in the process of getting aircraft parts certified so we could sell them as certified, removed as serviceable from the airplanes. And this one's been a good old bird.
That's fantastic. And there's just stuff every corner you look at.
Yeah, there's a glass goose back there underneath the.
What?
That's
Can
a
we get
sea-
around that way or this
Yeah,
way?
I just duck under here.
All right.
This survival of my grandkids, my great-grandkids, and my kids.
Oh, there you go.
They just turned 10. One time I had 10 lawn boy mowers or lawn tractors. And turned them loose in the front yard and looked like a drunk had mowed it, but they were having a good time.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, there's a few things. What's this straight tail Cessna you got here?
That's the brother to that yellow one over back there. It's a 6407 Alpha 182. Loaned that one out and a guy whanged it. He was hauling jumpers and whanged it, so I'm in the process of putting it back together.
Wait, what did he do with it?
Came down hard.
Oh.
If he hadn't caught the prop in the engine, it'd still be flying, but
Oh, whenever he porpoised it or something?
yeah, bounced and
Yeah.
so I took it apart, brought it up here, set it in the hangar, and that's where it's been. Let's see, there's a,
And then you said something, glass something.
oh, that's
A glass
Yeah.
air?
this is actually a,
Oh, this thing right here.
that's a seaplane.
Oh,
4-seater, glass goose.
glass goose. Huh. I've never
That's
heard
the
of
front
it.
end of it there. Wings, set of the wings are in the house. We've been playing with it, it's going to be heavily modified by the time we get done with it. It's heavy. It's a whole lot heavier than it needs to be.
Well, I was looking at the thickness of that fiberglass.
Yeah.
That's
We'll
some
put the
serious
tail
stuff.
section back on it, which is part setting over there, and play around with it in the water, get buoyancy, get angle of attack figured out, and get the step set up on it to where it can get off the water. Haven't decided what engine we're going to put in it yet. Probably be at least 250 ponies, maybe 300. And that is a teal F-141 side-by-side teal. It had a problem with the wing, so we pulled the wing off of it and sitting over there on the ground waiting to get rebuilt. When it gets too cold out here, we slide them in through my sliding glass doors in the living room, and that's where we rebuild them.
That'd be the way to do it.
That's great.
And then I couldn't help but notice the giant wings in the back. Are those to the Anatov?
Yeah, those are off the Antonov.
Antonov? I don't think I've ever figured out how to pronounce that.
Right? Antonov?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Golly, Gomer, those are huge.
Yeah, there's 4 of them.
Yeah, that's right. It's a biplane. Man.
Got 6 fuel tanks. You can see
Oh, wow. Inside the wings there. Look at
you
that.
go into the national debt when you fill those things up.
Yeah, how many gallons does this thing hold? And each tank looks to be, what, 50, 40 gallons or so? So, I mean, we're talking well over 200 gallons of fuel for this thing.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to put back together.
Is that full flaps? So is that what that is all the way across, or is that just?
Yeah, it's full flaps, and it's got leading edge slats that pop out too.
Yeah, he said whenever you throw the flaps in, the leading edge slats come out.
Oh, so
Once
it's
your
in
air's-
unison together.
Yeah, it's like if you ever flown a Helio Courier or Stallion or 395. I had a 395 for a while.
Okay.
And the leading edge drops out and creates a higher lift surface.
Yeah.
Adds a, forget how many square feet to the wing surface.
Yeah, well, that far across, that's going to be pretty
Oh
substantial.
yeah.
Yeah.
It does a hell of a good job. They set independently pop in and pop out
Man.
to meet the aerodynamic requirements.
God, that is a huge wing. And now what's this?
This is another seaplane, 141 teal. And the
So
wings,
similar to that other one that was over
Yeah.
there?
the wings for it are right there.
It looks just like a front of a boat right there.
Yeah,
I was looking, I wasn't sure if that was a boat or an airplane, and that's
Yeah,
probably
it's-
why they call them seaplanes.
Wow. Does this one have an engine?
yeah.
It does? Okay.
I've got, well, the engine's in the shop in there.
Yeah. What kind of horsepower would something like this have?
This one's 200 horse.
Did I hear correctly that the infamous Machbuster is
In there.
in that building right there?
Yeah,
Can we go see that?
sure. We'll
All right.
definitely go in.
Pressurized window out of something.
B-52.
Really? That's pretty neat.
Yeah, they were going to put it in a tornado-proof car. Mm-hmm. They were building a four-wheel drive.
We're gonna build a tornado-proof car, B-52.
Yeah.
I mean, that's immediately what I think of.
Handy supplies.
Yeah.
When you're
They welded it up for a while. They had it in the shop in here, putting plating on it. And it weighed so damn much when they got done with it, they had to change the suspension.
God.
There's 3 sailplanes up there. RC, let's see, Schweitzer, 223s and 222s.
I was like, that looks like a Lancer over there.
Yeah, that's a 360 Lancer.
Yeah. What's the story with that?
Brought it as a project, and several friends of mine and I were going to rebuild it, but they were having more fun flying than they were building, so it got put on the hold, the back burner.
I know how that goes. Oh, you got wings up in the rafters and everything.
Yeah, you can
Man, you
take the screws out and the wings just drop down, and got 182 wings, SeaBee wings. That right there is the lower wing for the Anatov.
And what's that red and blue thing? Oh,
That's the Machbuster.
that is. All right. Tell me this. I know that there's a story with that. So tell me the story with that.
Built by David Ross out in California, and this was a prototype they were building just to get it off the ground with a recip engine in it, and a dry shaft going back to the back end with a prop on the back end.
Wait. So the engine was inside the fuselage and
Yeah,
they had
right.
a really long drive shaft?
They had a dry shaft going back. But then they decided, they've had about 5 or 6 variations on this. They were going to put a ducted fan in it, suck air into it and blow it out the back, but they couldn't get enough thrust out of it, so they stayed with the prop.
And what were they trying to do?
Just see how fast they could make an airplane go. Typical pilot, both.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But
And did they ever get it flying?
as far as I know, this one never. They got the second prototype up. This was just kind of a mock-up for the first prototype, as a first prototype.
Oh, so this is the original one then?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. The proof of concept?
yeah. They were trying to decide how they wanted to light this. Just about the time we started hanging fluorescents, they discovered LEDs. This is the power plant off the SeaBee, 225 horse Franklin.
Good night, that thing's a beast.
It's got reversible pitch props. I've got the prop over there. And then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 520 Continentals, a couple of 470s. We're going to take the one 470 off of this one and put it on the Stinson up in the hangar, the other hangar.
Oh, okay, up by the runway. Yep.
Wait,
Yeah.
so there's another hangar with more airplanes?
Oh, yeah. I
Good
got
night.
the disease bad.
Man. Okay, so hold on a second. So far, we haven't even made it to the other hangar. We have the world's biggest biplane sitting outside.
Right.
We have this crazy Machbuster airplane. We have multiple 400 series airplanes and lots of seaplanes and engines. You can't,
182s.
yeah, 182s. You can't close your eyes and walk or you'll stub your foot on an engine around here. And there's still another hangar that we haven't got to yet.
Right.
That's my kind of guy. That's right.
It's a disease.
Yeah, that's my kind of guy.
Now we got a windbreak and some lights in it.
Hey, there we go. Oh, wow. Keeping all the good stuff over here.
The stuff closest to flying.
Okay, so we got a
This
P-51 thing here.
Fighter escort wings, P-51. The nose bowl and cowling are over there.
And what engine would go in this?
430 horse up in the other hangar where the Machbuster is. I've got a 430 horse aluminum head, steel iron block 350 that's bored and stroked for horsepower. Got a 2.5 to 1 ratio gear reduction and a 4-blade prop, four blade prop for it.
So the 350, is it small block Chevy?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I bet this thing's a handful of fun.
The one that we flew up at Oshkosh was a riot. Thing would climb, was all over the sky, having a good time. But then they decided, 3 or 4 of the guys that stayed here for off and on for a while decided, well, hell, we'll get one. They bought the kit, and it was a lot more fun to fly the 182s.
Yeah.
Had a 210 with struts on it. And the 150 over there, they were out keeping current and flying the hell out of it. Then we had this one for a jump plane. Go up and get urge and the wind wasn't blowing, we'd go skydiving.
So yeah, walk over there and is that the 180 or 182? Is that right?
This is the 182 here.
Okay.
It's a 63 model. This is a 64 model 150 Cessna.
Wow, with the shark mouth on it and everything.
Yeah, it was really funny. There was a lot nicer airplanes design-wise at the air shows where we took the kids flying, Eagles flight, stuff like that. But you land with this shark, and that's the one they wanted to fly in. We'd stick them in the left seat, give them a few up and down motions with it, and take them off and let them fly.
And now, how long have you had this plane? What's the story behind this airplane?
Bought it in Florida, down at Z Hills, Florida, about 1969, 1970. Brought it up here, cleaned it up, got all the corrosion out of it from being in Florida. Washed the wings, coated the insides of the wings, and taught about 40 skydivers how to fly airplanes with it. It'd be too windy or too nasty to be skydiving. We'd go out in this thing and fly all over the sky.
Wow, you've had this airplane for quite some time then.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I actually loaned it to a friend of mine, and they tied it down on the runway, and their ski ropes broke and got the wingtip. That's what we're repairing now.
Oh. Wow, neato. And what's the red airplane in the backpack there?
That's a 108-2 Stinson 47 model tail dragger. It's got leading edge slots. Gives it a little bit better lift off, short field capability. This has got the 165 horse Franklin, and we're pulling that off and putting an 0470 off like the one's on the 182. We flew a couple of 0470 Stinsons in when we were up in Alaska and Canada. They just, with constant speed prop, they just get off a lot easier. Got the ponies, you got almost the same weight. They just keep flying, so.
And what's the backstory with this airplane?
Owned by the guy that taught A&P school down at Cowley County for years, Larry Head, and he passed away with liver cancer. His wife needed a place to put it and didn't have any place, so I bought it from her. And we flew it for about 10 or 15 hours, and now we're getting this in a new jug. We got 2 more jugs that are coming in that we're going to put new jugs on it and fly it around till we get the 0470 STC for it. Then we'll put the constant speed on it and have a hell of a nice airplane.
Mm-hmm.
I had 4 and 5 pilots living there at the house off and on while I was gone, and they were just basically doing maintenance on their airplanes. I got 7 roll-away toolboxes full of aircraft tools. They can do everything they needed with the airplane, with the tools that I had, and get their birds flying and have a bird like the 150 or the 182 they could hop in and go flying with just to keep their wings bent.
So how long have you been at this this field here in Present?
1978.
Oh, wow.
We started at George Frisbee, drew a map of Wichita and put a circle around it to meet the 25-mile radius from the mid-continent, which is now Eisenhower.
Mm-hmm.
And this property was just outside that circle. He saw a quarter section, 160 acres. And we flew over it a few times. He and his son and I flew over, took pictures of it, and basically figured out where we put runways and taxiways and divided it up into lots, sold the lots, and started building hangars.
Okay.
I moved a trailer down here, lived in the trailer till my wife decided that she was no longer going to live in a trailer, and I started that house, 3,400 square foot of house. And we're moving into the house. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. I believe you.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this 25-mile circle. What is that?
Well, you don't need, at the time, the way the rulings were going, you didn't have to have permission to take off and land and fly there through their airspace.
Because it's not a Bravo, though, is it?
No, it's not a Bravo.
So it's...
The way rulings were changing, we wanted to be outside of that.
Oh, just outside of everything, no matter what may have came and went.
Yeah,
and...
as they were trying to decide what they wanted to do.
Interesting. I've never thought about that. But yeah, now it's a 30-mile mode C veil that you have around the Bravos.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never thought about that.
It's one of those, and if you're grandfathered in, you don't have to mess with it. But if you're not grandfathered in, you get screwed around. They'll say you set you on the ground till they decide that you can get into their airspace. Or.
Mm-hmm.
So you were here scoping out from the very first of anything that's developed here.
Basically bought the land, found 2 boundaries that I could, the highway was one boundary and the north fence was the other boundary. So that's what I picked for my lot. Planted a trailer on it and started building the house. Actually started building the hangar, and I was going to move the wife and family into the hangar, and there was no freaking way in hell that was going to happen. So I built her a house.
Yeah, that's what, I got a hangar home, so yeah, I got pretty fortunate there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, she came home one time, and the guys were all in the living room working on airplanes, and she was, this ain't going to happen. I said, go into town. She was a school teacher in Hayesville, so she went in and found a house she wanted and bought that house, and this kind of just turned into a pilot refuge. We had 5 big screen TVs around the living room, and we had all the games on. Just basically have a good time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that is pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Man, well, thank you so much for letting us walk around a little bit and hear some of the history and the background on these airplanes. And are you looking at possibly selling any of these things or airplanes?
Eventually,
or?
I'll get them all flying. I ended up with Agent Orange Parkinson, so I will slowly deteriorate. I can still fly. It seems to work, but I know after a while the brain's not going to connect with the hands and the throttles and controls, so get them up flying. Grandkids will fly, kids will fly, but if they decide they can't afford or don't want airplanes, they'll be put together flying, and I'll sell them. And
What about the Shark 150 here? Would you be willing to?
I'll probably end up selling that one too.
He'll be buried in that thing. He's owned that forever.
Yeah, that's actually it's been a fun airplane. It's got several thousand hours on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has got the 4-cylinder in it.
Yeah.
The 172 had the 306 in it. Yeah, the 0306.
Yep.
Went through several Chicken Hawks before. They were just a miniaturized version. It was a good trainer for fat pilots.
The Chicken Hawk.
Skyhawk.
Skyhawk.
Oh, Skyhawk. Okay.
The 172s, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, this one's has taught a lot of people how to fly. I'm trying to get all my toolboxes all in one place so we can start sorting through tools. Ended up with about 9 roll-away toolboxes.
So you just moved into this hangar here in the last year to kind of start sorting through
Yeah, as
stuff.
soon as Ed had it
The auction there.
at the auction, he bought it, and I tried buying it, and it went up past my dollar signs. I guess I could have kept on going and bought it, but I had 2 plane projects going at the same time. 3 grandkids graduating from high school and wanting to go to college, and your money goes away.
Yeah, it's airplane rich, money poor.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a there's a truer statement than that.
Yeah, that's.
Man.
I
Oh,
don't know what I'm
neato.
gonna do when I get the Aero Commander down here. It's.
What?
Yeah, let's hear about this air
Well,
commander.
hold on, wait. You just
I got a 680 Super Aero Commander up in Idaho.
how the heck did you get that?
Bought it from a guy that had flown it they used it with John Wayne. He'd fly from his ranch out to the shooting site where they were filming the Western. And then at the end of the week, or on the weekend, if they were set up for it, he'd hop in it and they'd fly it back to his ranch. It was the exact series aircraft that they had for Eisenhower, 680 Supers. And they'd fly him from National Airport out to Gettysburg, where he had his own runway at the Gettysburg farm. And in fact, it was built for Secret Service. There was 6 of them put together from what I understand, for Eisenhower. 2 of them were completed for Eisenhower and modified to have dual hydraulics and all that. I saw this one and the number popped up about 2 airframes past the 2 that they got for Eisenhower. And jumped on it, went out, and offered to buy a guy some money, and he took it, and it's been up there ever since. I'm gonna bring it back down. My uncle worked for North American Rockwell. And he had a 560. He always wanted a 680, but just never got around to getting one.
Now, what's the difference in the numbers? Is it the horsepower of the engines?
Yeah, 500 had 2 520. The 500 Aero Commander had 2 250 engines.
That makes sense.
The
The 680,
560 had the
340.
340s.
Golly.
The 680 had the 680 Super had turbo geared.
Lycomings?
Lycomings.
The the GTSIO or whatever they're called. Yeah.
340 horse, 480 geared engines, but you can't pull the power back on the. Well, you've been doing it.
With the 421. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be nice and slow and gentle.
Be real gentle with those suckers. You'll end up spinning, wearing some gears out, a gearbox out in the front end.
So that aircraft is up in, what did you say it was in Idaho?
Caldwell, Idaho. Yeah.
Okay. So it's something that can be flown back to here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't want to take up your whole day here, but like he does, I do the same thing where I find airplanes that need a little love and fix them up, and get them flying again and stuff like that. That's what I try to do as well, and I do it with the little YouTube channel there. So we've the first one was an old 310, a straight tail 310.
Yeah.
Had two of those. One of them we ended up not being able to save because of too much corrosion. So we got that put together for a school and donated it to the school. The other one I've been flying, we saved it out of California.
Oh, cool.
And then there was an Aztec in that lot.
A Flying Spud.
Yeah, yeah. And,
what engine did you?
Well, I've had a few of those. So I've had, the one Aztec was a E or an F model, and it had the 540 E model, I think it was. So it had the 540 with turbo normalized air research ones. And then I had a Apache with the 180 horse one, so the little 4-cylinder Lycomings.
Yeah.
I was the best airplane in the world. It would take off and land anywhere. It never went fast.
Yeah.
But man, it would take off and land anywhere you wanted it. And then we had another Aztec. It was an early model, and it had the carbureted 540s in it, 250 horse each.
Yeah.
It took us almost 2 years to go through everything, and we found it in a hangar, and somebody had just painted it. They just rebuilt one of the engines, but they just ran out of resources and time, and the pilot was the son, and he ended up going to the airline, so this thing had been setting for a few years. It took us about 2 years to go through it all the way, and then we ended up donating it to a missionary bush pilot.
JARS or Mars?
Similar to JARS. It's a smaller one, but yeah, similar to JARS.
I was down in Central and South America. They were all over the place down there.
Yep. So that was, and we just finished that airplane. That was a good airplane too. And then the 421, that's my airplane that I'm flying around in.
Oh, definitely.
And yeah, we've had all kinds of stuff, haven't we? Mm-hmm. What else has been flying?
The Lance Air, you had that for a little while.
Oh yeah, that Lance Air. I bought that. Boy, I should not have bought that airplane. I was not near skilled enough of a pilot.
Or?
The big tail, the Mark II.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you put rotor controls on the right and left hand side?
Well, when I got it, it was 100% done. I didn't touch a thing on it. So it was.
Somebody had already put the money in the bigger wing and the bigger tail and.
Yeah, there was a gentleman, Byron, just a fantastic person, and he spent 8,000 hours building that airplane, and you could tell. Every gap was perfect. And he had flown that thing for, I think, 1,400 hours when I got it.
Wow.
So he put a lot of time on it out of Arizona. And then I flew it from Arizona all the way back to Florida and flew it all over the place after that because, I mean, before I did a couple little things to it, it was 191 knots at 9.8 gallons an hour.
Yeah.
Just a rocket ship. I mean, just a rocket ship. And it was the most dependable airplane of any of them that I've ever had.
Whoa.
It was one that some guy built in his garage. So all these other ones, they always need something. But that one, the kit plane that this guy built, never needed a thing. I changed the tire on it and changed some brake pads. That was it.
Man.
And, changed the oil and stuff. Added fuel to it, and that's it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
We flew the 360 Lance Air for Dr. Scott out of St. Louis. And had a hell of that was a quick airplane.
Yeah, you took off fast, you landed fast, and you never got slow in it.
Oh, yeah. I never wanted to get slow.
Yeah, and you put it on like a pair of pants. You slide into it where your legs slide over the stick.
You tuck yourself into it.
Uh-huh, that's right. You zip it, all right, we're in. Yeah, no, I love that airplane. Man, I loved it. But yeah, sold that, and I'm out looking, always looking to
More
see.
projects.
Yeah, to find the right one. And for me, I'm more interested in the story, and because I make my living doing the video stuff and that kind of thing. So I like a really good story behind
Video
the airplane.
documentary.
Yeah. And then one that is not, you know, like the P-51, that one would just take us too long. People lose interest in
Oh yeah.
something
Well,
like
that's
that.
kind of why it died there. They decided to change the airfoil
Yeah.
on the wing, and they've got the wing for it, but it's not the airfoil that they really want.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it sits there.
Yeah. So after I can get about 5 episodes, 5 times doing a video on an airplane before people are just not interested in it anymore.
Yeah.
But if there's any of these that you'd be open to selling, and you know you have a good story,
Yeah.
I'd be open to chatting with you about it. So you let me know.
I got guys screaming to get a hold of the Stinson and get a hold of the pilots out here on the field. Do you live on an air park or?
I might as well. I don't, but I probably should.
God, it's so easy. I lived on an airstrip all my life.
I keep trying to tell my wife.
She doesn't want to lose you to the airstrip. Does she fly?
No, Lord, no.
Oh, man.
No, I mean, she'll get in one every once in a while. That's why I had to get the 421. I think that's the only thing that she would be willing to get in. She did get in. I had an old Cherokee 180. She got in that one once, and we flew. It wasn't her favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
So,
Noise.
yeah.
Slow.
Well, and they move like this, you know.
Yeah.
You bounce around with the air and stuff like that. And she
Till you
wasn't.
get above that 10,000 feet, you're getting bad.
Yeah, she didn't care for that much. The 421, that's a
Instant
you get,
altitude.
Yeah, you get that thing up to altitude and straight and level, and it's so quiet in there.
Yeah.
Man, it's nice. All right, well, we've shared enough stories. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Yeah, and like I
much
said,
fun.
if anything does come to mind or anything like that, you just keep my number, let me know, or get a hold of him. Yeah.
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 Tell me first, because he may want to end up with something.
Yeah.
You'll
No,
want,
I'm tapped out.
Yeah, that
I've tapped out 2 times.
you can't do anything until the Machbuster gets flying.
Well, I'm done. I'm done.
it'll be interesting when they get that.
Take 1 second to smash that subscribe button so we can beat Dave Ramsey and show him that this is a great investment. It wouldn't be a Jimmy's World video unless something went wrong. We got the van stuck.
I conveniently purchased one of those like get out of snow, Goodyear dealies.
Yeah, and where is that?
That has been in here like a lot. I've moved it so many times.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, naturally, I just took it out recently. So here we are in Kansas.
That's all right. I know the comment section is blowing up right now about everything we're doing wrong and your suggestions about what we should have done or do. Yeah. There's a fire truck back there. Maybe that'll start up and help us pull it out. It'll be fine.